Hello, beautiful soul family. I hope this message finds you well wherever you are. Good morning. It is almost 6 a.m. over here. Welcome to my new channel. You know what it is. Mercury retrograde, but it's the last one of the year. If it's any consolation, welcome to my new page. Welcome to my new channel. I created this because I feel like it's just time in general for like a fresh new start. And I know that that's been coming up a lot in the collective energy, where you just feel like you're done with this outdated version of events, an outdated version of yourself, outdated thought forms, repeated patterns, just outdated ways of being and doing things in general, right? So you might find yourself back in a situation like during this time, during this retrograde period, like it might feel really intense. Like if you had been doing a lot of work the past couple of months, then this might feel like you just got sucked back into your old reality that you have very much outgrown. And you're doing a great job, by the way. You've made a lot of progress, and that is why the dichotomy now feels so loud, which now feels sort of just like you just want to start the new chapter already. But Spirit's messages coming through this morning are that slowing down is necessary at this time. Just sort of taking that breather, and grounding before this next. It's sort of building momentum even in the stillness, and it's before this next, before you're catapulted almost into your next phase of life, into this new timeline that you have worked so hard to manifest and create, into this new reality. And I won't even say this new version of you, because I'm pretty sure you're already embodying and you've already given birth to and created this new version of yourself. And as we all know, that stuff doesn't happen so easily or just overnight or something like that. It's continuous work, dedication, loyalty to yourself, to your sovereignty, to your mission, to your ascension, to everything, right? There's sacrifices, there's things you have to cut out, there's people you have to cut out, places that are no longer serving you, perceptions, thought forms, just so many things, outdated programming, things we were taught. Like, it's a lot, okay? I'm pretty sure we can come on today and agree that this journey is not for the faint of heart, okay? So pat yourself on the backs, on your chest, breathe a little deeper, breathe with more intention, and just know that you are doing the very best that you can, and that your spirit team sees you, your higher self is proud of you and is conspiring with you in your favor, and so is the universe. And you have seen evidence of that recently. I know you guys have, where there's just divine synchronicities, things lining up, things just sort of falling together after a really long time. And it may have felt before like things were sort of falling apart for the longest time, and it may have felt like the worst time for the longest time, okay? And Mercury retrograde can kind of feel like flashes of that previous life and self that you have outgrown, or in some cases it can feel like that you've escaped from, because that's how intense the entire experience felt. 444 on the timer. So that could be a synchronicity for somebody. So getting away from all that and then seeing it flash in front of you, like you may be back in the situations or the relationships or the places, or might find yourself slipping back into shadow versions of your old self. Those are just coming up to the surface for one final purge, just like a major goodbye and purge. So don't worry too much about that. You might be having a lot of nightmares at this time, because this time might just be generally very stressful for you. You know, going through, you may very well be in the dark night of the soul, but going through just finally getting some reprieve in a situation, or finally sort of rising from something and then being pulled back down, can feel debilitating. And there might be a series of events that have taken place. You might have been let down, hurt, recently betrayed. You might be going through some PTSD symptoms. You might have betrayal trauma. There just might be a lot going on in your outer world and in your internal world, right? As within, so without, at this time for you to process. And it might just feel like it's a lot to just cope with in general. So take it easy on yourself at this time. Practice a lot of self-care, self-love. Be patient with yourself and with the external events that are taking place. And remember to not get too caught up in your head with the overthinking or with the overanalyzing. It can be very tempting, but it's not very, excuse me, throat chakra, that's another one coming up as always. 7:11 on the timer, but I had to wait for that one, so I don't know if it counts. Just try not to give in to the temptation of overthinking or overanalyzing. You might already be waking up randomly at night. You might be feeling very restless. The betrayal could have left you feeling all sorts of emotions, and you might have betrayal trauma and nightmares. So you might be waking up from nightmares. So process it, definitely. I'm not saying don't, I'm not saying run from it, but just definitely have, I think we're being called towards having a more balanced approach, where it's like, process it, yeah, that's great, but also don't give it too much attention, because where attention goes, energy flows, right? And we're trying to get away from that kind of energy. We're trying to release that kind of energy, those kinds of energies, those connections, whatever karma we had to face in this lifetime or reality, whatever karmic connections played that part for us, played that role. It's time to just sort of let that go with as much grace as we possibly can, because obviously in some certain situations it can feel like a lot to release something with peace, especially if you were done really dirty, you know? And I know a lot of you have been, maybe over and over, and maybe this was the final blow, you know? Because if you don't walk away when you're supposed to, when spirit is guiding you to, then there will be something that shatters that illusion. There will be that epic, like, one thing that happens that is so big that you can't not walk away, right? Like, the universe conspires in our favor, right? So it'll show us something, or something will happen in that situation or in that relationship that we're not walking away from, even though we're being called to, where we will have absolutely no choice but to choose ourselves, because the other person would make it so abundantly clear how very little you mean to them. And this may be a repeated series of events where we're being called to distance from certain energies or a certain energy. And if you're not doing so, then there will be one epic thing that happens where it's just like, okay, wow, never mind, I am done, kind of thing, you know? And of course it's a lot to process, of course, because there was hope, love, a lot of things, expectations, whatever, that were all broken. There was trust that was lost. But it's just one of the experiences of life that's like 10-10. That's a little more heavy and a little less fun to go through and look at, you know? But nonetheless, we have to, right? To get through, the only way is through. All the avoidance, what's it called? It's early in the morning right now. All the avoidance personality types know this, that escapism can only get you so far. At a certain point, you're gonna have to look at it. Whatever ugly gunk you have hidden in the closet or the corner or shoved somewhere down far, far away, it's gonna come up to the surface at some point, and you're gonna have to face it. It'll find you somewhere in the simulation, and we all know that. So I feel like I just got out a bunch of channel messages. I don't even know, it's like 11 minutes in, if I should do the reading, but oh my God. The noise outside is so annoying. Like, you might feel like you had been in a situation for a really long time and then you finally got out. Like, you don't even know how you got out. Must have manifested basically getting out, okay? You might have just been sending distress signals all the time, and you might have just been unwell generally, and then you finally got out, but then all the stuff you were banking on, or all the people you were banking on, might have sort of just pulled the rug from underneath you, and this may not be the first time, and now you're sort of back in the situation which you didn't have to be back in. And these could be people that smile in your face, like very well smile in your face while doing you so dirty behind your back. Like, I'm talking envy, gossip, competition, theft, downright theft, trying to steal whatever they can, whether it's energy vampires, energy siphoners, 1212 on the timer, whether it's ideas, because that is a big one as well, whether it is downright physical items and things such as your inheritance or finances. They're just so money hungry and materialistic or greedy and attached to the physical 3D world, where it's like that's taken over, and it's sort of like, it feels like a demonic, I don't even know what to say, you guys, but like people can get all sorts of carried away. We've seen it in history books and stuff, right, where people are turning on their own family members and shoving them down the stairs and stuff. I just remember reading some whack shit as a child and being like, how can people do this kind of stuff? And then I found out. I didn't find out because I still don't understand how, I don't comprehend how a person could do that, but we're all different individuals on different levels of vibration. And you might have been epically betrayed recently if you're seeing this video, if the algorithm, if the frequency is similar. Sorry, I just like lost my trail of thought. ND. Whew. But just know that all is well and this too shall pass, and that karma is a very real thing, okay? We all know the laws of the universe and the laws of balance, and that there's karma and there's dharma. And maybe you are being called to step away from some socials where you've been posting, where these hidden enemies that have now revealed themselves. Like, I mean, let's be honest, it's not like they were hidden. You always knew, but you didn't want to know, sort of thing. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes the truth can be quite bitter, even more bitter than your morning black coffee. And you know, it can sort of feel like, oh my God, like I don't want that to be true. So you just sort of don't want to look at it. Like I said, the avoidance strategy. Or maybe it's just too painful to look at or whatever, right? Now I'm just explaining why avoidance do what they do, and I know they have a pretty bad reputation, but I'm just saying, like, you might have wanted to really believe in the good of people and the good of everyone around you, right? You might have wanted to believe what was being represented, but see, that's where you can't do that. You can't deny or ignore your intuition, your insights, your prophetic visions or dreams, and sort of just push an agenda or allow an agenda to be pushed upon you, rather, because that's what an unfaithful or a person that is not loyal to you will do, right? They will mimic the mannerisms of someone that genuinely cares. They'll ask you all sorts of questions, like get you gifts or whatever, I don't know. Like, they will act fake. That's the whole thing, right? But they don't have your best interest at heart, and you can always tell because energy doesn't lie. People do, unfortunately, in this world, but energy doesn't, okay? And not everyone does. So don't let this experience, this horrible experience that you have had that has caused you nightmares, PTSD, or a lack of a general distrust in people, or brought up certain intimacy issues from your childhood or your past, right? Don't let this epic blow be the reason that you go into the vibration of distrust. Because trust me, a lone wolf, I get it. I get that archetype. I get that energy. And you may have been one for a long, long time. But in all the tarot reads and spreads I've done so far, divine collaborations have been coming in. So you have a lot of collaborations coming in. And there will be people that support you. And I swear to God, I know that this can be like, oh yeah, right, like whatever, like I'll believe it when I see it kind of thing, right? But like, believing is seeing. We create what we believe is possible, right? So you don't want to keep running the same script in your mind, like, oh, I can't trust people, and all people are like this, and all people are like that, and then have it reinforced because of like a bad scenario or situation. Not saying that what happened, I'm not trying to invalidate in any way, shape, or form how real and how awful it was. Definitely cut those people out. Don't be making excuses for betrayals and terrible behavior and keeping snakes around. No, in no way, shape, or form do I mean that. I just mean that for future alignments, when it pertains to soulmates and just people being called in through your frequency that you're radiating, right? You don't want to be projecting that past story, pain, or trauma and hurt onto them, right? We want to step into it with faith and lead with faith and love and hope, not fear. That's all I wanted to get out. And just remember that this too shall pass. I have already done an entire video where I did a tarot read, and it was about this betrayal that has taken place. I did it like a week or two ago, but all my messages and my videos are timeless. So that was like a very, very, there was a lot of messages. Yes, it was a pretty like potent channeled message that I did, and I just didn't post it. So I might just post that actually after this video. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you did. And like I was saying, you gotta cut out those energies, guys. Maybe block them off your socials, or maybe if there's a lot of them, consider moving towards newer socials where you have like more of a filter. So yeah, that's the goal of that. Words, Mercury retrograde, communication. So have a good one, you guys. Thank you for being here. Namaste until I see you guys again. So I'll see you in the next one. Take care.